Welcome to the Autographers Anonymous podcast. Sorry, it's going to take a while for me to get used to that. Used to saying Autograph Weekly for years. So I am here, and we are a group. We are here, and you know what? I'm going to start this over again. So um, sorry about that. Here we go. I guess we can start our live feed anytime we want to, and then start the show in the middle.
Yeah.
About that, we don't have to. Just right off the bat. Okay. Welcome to the Autographers Anonymous podcast. We are a group designated for autograph collectors who are addicted to the hobby. And we're going to go around the room and say who we are.
What's up, guys? It's Mike, aka the Godfather, coming to you from the home office. And I am addicted to looking at autographs I'm going to purchase when I win the Mega Millions tonight.
All right. This is That Autograph Dude, aka Stacia Schaefer, and I am addicted to the Getty lifestyle.
Ooh, Getty life. And my name is Zane Savage, and I'm addicted to coming up with ideas that I think are ingenious and very, very intelligent, yet fail dramatically in a spectacular way, which I'll prove later on in this podcast. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to new returns. What do we get in this week through our TTMs? And we're going to start with the guy who always gets in like 500, Mike.
All right. Narrowed it down. They're all ready to go. So you're not
Oh,
hear
sweet.
the rustling of papers. President Michael. All right. First one, we got Daniel Robick. And this was a movie based off The Late Shift, Jay Leno and David Letterman. And he played Jay Leno. He was also in The Fugitive. Guy with the mustache. And let's see, what is this? Star Trek. There's Leonard Nimoy. And he was in Lost also. Got this in today. Saw a couple returns. Amanda Panda got her in. This is Carrie Payton. He's currently on The Walking Dead, but he also does a lot of voice work for Teen Titans. As Cyborg. The only problem is, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll show you where half the autograph is.
Paint pen.
This one. So used a nice gold paint pen, but just didn't let it dry. Also got this in. You guys know we live down here near Disney. This is Anika Noni Rose. She did the voice for Tiana. So Disney Princess, signed 3 of 3.
That's a cool one.
There's that one. Paid a donation for this one, but well worth it. Again, Hall of Famer, Lance Allworth. This is a cool Sports Illustrated cover, and he spanked it. Two Archer signed it, Bambi inscription, Hall of Fame 78, and number inscription.
Hey, look at that. That's when the Chargers were in San Diego.
Where they belong.
Yes. This one, I believe you got him back, Stacy, but he's signing Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. the Big Red Machine, Kane from WWE, who is now the mayor of Knoxville. Cool shot with The Undertaker. Very cool ring shot, had great pyro. And this is awesome. I found a promo shot of Dr. Isaac Yankem.
Nice.
Who he portrayed, and he inscribed it, I Yankem. So wrestlers are great about that. They always sign with their character name. Got David Akers back. He's a kicker for, most notably for the Eagles. But the reason I got him, if you guys have not Googled David Akers draft Cowboys, he lays into him on draft day. It's hilarious. But I wanted to get this photo signed from the draft. You guys know I love my Star Wars. Richard Edlund, And back then they wore many hats, but he did some of the micro work. There's the Death Star, a bunch of models, signed it nicely in gold. But this one I love because it shows him working on the New Hope scroll at the beginning of the movie, which is iconic.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's awesome.
If you guys follow me on YouTube, you guys know I am huge into JFK related items. Sorry, this one is Maloof Abraham, and he was a doctor at Parkland Hospital when JFK was brought in. So this one is signed up there towards the top. This is Trauma Room 1, where they took JFK, and this is the mass chaos in November outside of Parkland, signed up here. So just one of those niche kind of things that I send to.
Yeah, get them before the fans ruin it for TTM. Seems like all the JFK guys go down. Well, I shouldn't say go down fast. That's not a very good phrase to use for that event. But when they get a hold of that address, they just fling them on eBay like crazy.
Yeah. And these guys aren't celebrities, but you gotta remember this was 1963, so
yeah,
those guys are up there in age. She's been signing a lot lately. This one was out quite a while. I forgot about it. Jenna Elfman in the Looney Tunes movie, but probably most notable for Dharma and Greg.
Still waiting for mine. I haven't got mine yet.
And I've seen it come back. Quick football return. Dick Vermeil won a Super Bowl with the Rams. Back in the day with the Eagles. Cool black and white shot. And there he is with Ron Jaworski. Very cool return. Tracked him down. Pierre Maguire, the man between the boards for NBC hockey. Archer is a hockey player, so we watch a lot of hockey. Finally tracked him down after a couple attempts. Hit or miss on this one, but very cool return. Hall of Famer Robin Yount, baseball player for the Brewers.
Did you pay a fee?
I did. I sent him a check and he returned it. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Signed this one in silver. Great looking action shot. And signed this one in black. But if you look at this, the reason I sent it, no mustache.
Oh, a rarity.
So, yeah, young shot of him. This one was out a while, but very cool. Pirates of the Caribbean. Stellan Stengard played Bootstrap Bill. And a couple shots from Pirates. And he was also in the Avengers and the Thor movie as a professor. And he was in Hunt for Red October, which was a great film. A couple more here. Back to hockey related. Stacy, I don't know if you got him in. I can't remember. I saw somebody get him. But this is Phil Pritchard. He is the keeper of the cup. So I sent him a picture of the Stanley Cup, and he's the guy you always see in the white gloves. Anytime the cup is handled, it's usually him. There's one cleaning the cup, but Lord Stanley's Cup is one of the greatest trophies. And he sent me this cool.
There's so many just debaucherous things that have happened with that trophy. Yet they treat it like, you have to use gloves. I guess you're not supposed to touch it if you didn't win it. Is that the thing?
Well, the players that do win it get a whole day with it, so they can do whatever they want, and some of them are a little dirty on it.
Yeah.
Finish up here, a couple Star Wars Return from Return of the Jedi. This is Kevin Thompson. He was an Ewok, so a couple Ewok shots. It's a bunch of Ewoks with Chewbacca there, and he was also in Blade Runner as the bear. And last one came back. Big fan of the Police Academy movies. This is George Robertson, who played Commissioner Hearst. He signed in pen, but still very cool. Police Academy shot there. A couple inscriptions there, and one more. So he's got to be way up there in age because
Totally.
he was pretty old during those movies, and they're 10, 20 years old now. So
Yeah.
That's about it. So I have a few other things, but that's the highlights.
Man, that's crazy. You get some cool stuff in, man. I'm so excited to see your stuff every 2 weeks because you have a good pile, and that's the cream of the crop. All right, Stacy, show us what you got, and then I'll get to my sad story.
All right, we'll get to this. Decent amount of stuff here, and I'll save the last 2 or 3 for the last part. I ended up having a pretty awesome Friday and Saturday. Mike has already seen a couple of these, so but we'll get into it. We'll start off. I know Jeremy would enjoy this one, but this is a couple of Pro Set Superstar music cards signed by Ted Nugent. There is the first one.
That's a weird looking Ted Nugent signature. I've sold a bunch of Ted Nugents. I'm just saying we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Then there's one with damn Yankees.
Did he have a stroke? Because that's what it looks like.
Who knows? He's kind of nuts anyway. Next up, I got in Chad Hennings. He signed a couple 4x6s for me. There's the first shot. And then, of course, he was active in the military, and I found this pretty cool shot from him from the Air Force. He was an A-10 pilot, and he inscribed it all. So there's that. Next up, I got in Terrell Holt. This one was out for about 260 days. This must have been one of the first batch I sent out back in January, but signed 2 of 2, a shot from Z Nation, and then a shot from Californication. Next up, I got in 2 of 2 from director Doug Lyman. Signed a shot of him with Tom Cruise from American Made. And then there is a shot from Jumper with Hayden Christensen, and I don't remember who else was in the movie, but
is it Kristen Stewart?
It might be. Next up, got 3 of 3 back from Leonard Maltin. This was actually a address I dug up, and it actually works. So he signed. There's one with Gary Oldman. I think this was at the past Oscars when Oldman won for Best Actor. And there is a shot with his daughter. And then this one's a pretty cool shot with Siskel and Ebert. Next up, got 1 of 1 back from this person. I'm surprised because usually she doesn't sign. She sends a signed bookmark back, but Nancy Cartwright actually signed one photo for me.
Bookmarks? She have a book?
I don't know. She just always, for some reason, sends bookmarks. Next up, got 2 of 2 back from Darius Rucker. Shot with him and with Dan Marino.
Hootie.
Yep, and then an old school. There's an old school Hootie photo. 2 of 2 back from LeVar Burton. There is that one.
God, man, his signature.
Yeah, I know.
I've sold it before, and I'm just like, what is this? This is Klingon, man.
Obviously, one from Star Trek. Got 2 of 2 back from Mark Summers, who is the host of Double Dare, which they just brought back. So there is a photo from that. And if you guys have not seen this, if people haven't seen this, go back on YouTube and check this out. It's from the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, the infamous Jay Leno interview with Mark Summers and Burt Reynolds.
Now he's a germaphobe, right?
Kind of, yeah. Not as crazy as Howie Mandel, but he's pretty.
Like he did that. What's the show he did on Nickelodeon?
Double Dare.
Double Dare, yeah. So and like that has slime and everything else in it, and he's like a germaphobe. It's just one of those weird fun facts if you didn't know.
But yeah, if you haven't seen this interview, check it out. It is pretty damn funny. Burt Reynolds spills or pours coffee all over Mark Summers. It's hilarious. And then I also got in Kari Payton from The Walking Dead, Ezekiel. Cool photo with him and Jeffrey Dean Morgan from one of the Walking Dead conventions. And then, obviously, with the tiger. Got this one in today. 2 of 2 back from Terry Hatcher. There is that one. And then, of course, a shot from Lois and Clark.
That actually looks like your signature. You're good on that one.
They're real and they're spectacular.
Got 2 of 2 back. This was a Via Venue from She Is on Broadway right now. Joan Allen. There is that one. And that one. And then Neary's going to enjoy this one. I got a voice actor back, and I think he represents this guy. And Neil Ross. There is that one from Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling. He was the voice of Mean Gene.
What? They didn't have Mean Gene voice Mean Gene?
Nope.
What? I guess he's just too famous? Like, what the hell?
Yeah. And there's just a shot from, looks like some convention in Florida. A bunch of his different voices he does.
Mustache.
Next up, got 1 of 1 back from David Arquette. I sent 2 photos, but I'm kind of glad this is the one that he sent. I sent one from Scream, but this is the one he sent back when he was WCW champ. And when
with DDP?
Yep.
Might be able to get him TTM.
I got one out to him. He used to sign. He used to take forever, but I mean, I've had that
with his yoga stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also got Robin Yount back. I'm not 100% sure on this. He didn't sign the 2 photos I sent, but he sent a Hall of Fame card. I don't know. I think it's actually signed. It's one of these that's kind of hard to tell.
That rings a bell. I think I got that back in the day. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. It's just one of those that's it's just hard to tell.
The case against Robin Yount.
All right, then these last 2 were ones I got last Friday and Saturday. Neither one of these with a donation. First one of 1 back from Roger Staubach.
Oh, nice. Holy crap. Good job.
And the next one, 2 of 2, sent these to the Cleveland Browns. They came back from, I think, LA or Santa Clarita, but 2 of 2 from Jim Brown.
What?
There's that
wow.
one. And that one.
That's crazy. Those are legit too. I've sold several of his.
Yeah, I was leery when I first got it, but I mean, I did some.
Well, that first one you showed was a little bit weird, but the second one was spot on. So he must just be getting older.
Yeah, it's like he looks like he kind of like messed up on the beginning of the J on that one. You can kind of see where.
Yeah, but that second one's spot on. It's definitely legit.
Damn. Yeah, I saw
Brown.
One success on Star Tiger from the Cleveland Browns. So I sent it to Cleveland and it got to him. So
well, rest in peace, that address.
Flooded.
Yeah.
But there we go.
Is that your last one? You guys done showing off?
Yeah.
All right. So here's the deal. Okay. So I had this spectacular plan where I'm going to make these personalized cards. People are going to love it because it's personalized to me, and they know I'm not going to sell it, right? Well, I've had 1 success. Now, granted,
you got one?
I got 1. I have several failures. First off, like I said I think I said this last time, the size of the envelopes were too small. So I was getting returned to senders just from not even getting to the place. It was the post office sending them back saying the envelope was too small. So I had to up the envelope, which I did. And still getting returned to senders and just not non-signs. My 1 success is the greatest football coach that ever lived, Bill Belichick. Nice. But he inscribed it to me even though my name is on the card, which I thought, that was part of it. But, these people just fly through their fan mail. They don't really read it a lot of the time. And I think that's the biggest problem. Because back in the 20s, When you got a letter, you read the whole damn thing because you didn't have anything to do but piss in a pot and read letters. So nowadays, people do fan mail. They get a lot more letters, obviously, and it's more of a process than an enjoyment. So writing a nice letter with a personalized card, and for like they don't care. They want something easy to sign. My thing has a line on it where to sign. Looks like a goddamn document, and they're not going to sign it. That's what I've come to conclude. I don't think this was a good idea because let me tell you who I got back today, unsigned, who every person in the TTM community has got back signed in the last 3 months. Jim Lovell. Jim Lovell has signed for every single person, multiple items sometimes. And I sent to him with this nice letter, fancy, like nice cardstock letter, and with my personalized card. And I get all of it back in the envelope, return envelope, unsigned. So obviously these people are a little like the return to senders, you can't blame on that. But Jim Lovell not signing for me kind of shows that this is not going to be a successful venture for me. So I'm thinking about maybe doing photos and then photoshopping a signature portion into the photos at the bottom somehow for them to sign that and see if that works. But I'm gonna have to reevaluate this whole thing, man. I've had like 10 return to senders, and I sent out 50, and like 40 of them are still floating out there somewhere. So if I get any back in between now and then, I'll let you know. But I'm gonna have to switch up my my game because this idea is not working, and I wish it did, because having personalized signed autograph cards in the collection, like a nice book, full, and they're all the same, it just sounds like I'd love to have it, but it's just not meant to be. Today's autograph world is totally different than it was back in 1920. Who would have guessed it? And yeah, I mean, maybe it would work in person. You could explain it, but I still think if you did it in person, hi, this is my personal autograph collection where I have these personalized cards where I want you to sign. I know it looks like a document, but it's just a card. Yeah, no, go away. So that's my pity story, guys. Yeah, it was a risk that I took and I lost. So, but that's part of TTMing.
Mailpix.com 4x6.
Yeah, mail pics. I know. You get some photos and give in.
Hey, but you can always count on Bill Belichick.
Oh, dude, yeah, he was fast, and he sent it back in his own envelope, which I think may be a reason I got it back, because I think some of those smaller envelopes that were sent back maybe got stuck. They don't have a return address on them, and they're tiny. So maybe they're getting stuck up in not customs, but whatever the sorting facility is.
He's got all that free time because his press conferences are always one word answers to every question he gets asked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
okay.
What? All right. So that's enough of my pity party. But I'll be coming up with a new strategy, and I'll let you guys know what that is in the next few episodes. We're going to move on to the topic for today. And the topic for today is one that's broad. And if you guys in chat have any ideas to add to this topic, feel free to put them in chat and we'll talk about them. But it's TTM etiquette and what's right to do, what's wrong to do, what's in the gray area. We can discuss those things because those are usually fun. Usually have people on both sides. But first, we're going to start it off on something I believe we talked about this on Autograph Weekly, but that was like 5 years ago. So the autograph world has changed a bit since then. How long do you wait? So you have people that sign very well, and you want multiples, and you have a personal limit on how many you sent, whether it be 2, 3, 4, 12 for some people. But how long do you wait once you hit that limit on the first return to send another request? Or do you even send another request? Maybe it's unethical to even send a second request once you've got something in from that first return. What do you guys think?
Well, I'll start because I was kind of notorious for this back in the day. I used to be kind of bad at writing multiple times a year. but kind of when I decided to come back beginning of this year, I told myself that I'm going to try to limit it to no more than twice a year, and that's only if I come across another photo or something that I once signed that I didn't find the first time I sent to this person. But I'm going to wait probably at least 6 months from that first request. And if I do somewhere where I'm going through doing my photo research or looking for photos, if I find another photo I want to get signed, I'll just set it aside. Then once that 6 month time frame passes, I'll send another request out.
So on that second request, Stacey, you're telling me that you only send one photo, and you wouldn't be like, "Well, I mean, he signed it anyways. He might as well sign two."
I mean, I've sent a lot of requests out this year with only one photo in it. So, I haven't sent any more than 3 so far, and it's normally 2.
Right. That's good.
And then my other thing, as far as that I'm going to do, if I've got something out there that's been out there for more than 200 days, I think I kind of decided if I haven't gotten it back, I'll probably try to resend after that 200 days box. I mean, it could be something where something got lost in the mail. They may have never gotten the request, but I'm going to wait till at least 200 days are up, or it's been out pending for 200 days. Then I'll send. So I think I just did that recently on a couple people, but they're both things that have been out for over 200 days. So.
Oh man, it's a Stacy guy again.
Yep. So I said that's kind of how I've set myself up since I've come back at the beginning of the year. Like I said, I used to be horrible back in the day. I bet there was people I wrote 4 or 5 times a year and sent 2 or 3 things each time. But
a little bit off
try
topic,
to kind of limit myself.
I just thought about this a little bit off topic. Actually, quite a bit off topic. Do you think you have a higher rate of return because your name is Stacy and can be used as a woman's name?
Possibly, but every letter I send out has all my social media on it. So if they look at my letter, they're going to know it's got my Instagram, it's got my Facebook, it's got my Twitter and everything on there. So
do you think
if they want to know,
if you changed your handwriting to be more feminine, I'm just saying, could increase that rate by like 0.5%?
That would mean I have to actually handwrite the letters, though.
Oh, that's right. You do. That's right. Then all you got to do is your signature, my friend.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's off topic. Mike, what do you think? What's your rule?
All right. I've just started double dipping. In the past, once I got them back, if I saw them on Star Tiger, I just kept going because I've got them in my collection. I was adding other things, but now I've been doing this so long that I keep seeing some of the same names, and we've talked about windows closing, and I don't want to say take advantage of it, but I don't want to miss an opportunity because when I see that name, I've got to think, do I have this person in my collection? Then I look back and then I start finding other photos because some of these people that we write to, let's say an A-list celebrity who's been in the game a long time starts signing. You got them in the past on maybe 1 or 2 photos, but they've done 4 or 5 movies that you're fans of. So I've got 2 photos signed from their first 2 movies. Maybe I want 2 photos of the last 2 movies they did because I'm a fan of that. So I've started looking at who I've got in my collection and who's signing and what I have. So I don't have a problem double dipping, as long as you're ethical about it, not sending weekly. If I send, it's months, from the first signature. I also resend like Stacy does if it's been a while, but why I do that is I've moved so much in the last 5 years that some of the stuff that I've sent that I've seen people get back could have gone to the old address and my forwarding address has been, expired. So I'm not getting that one back. So I've resent to people after, 200, 250 days, whatever it is. Okay,
hypothetical for you. Stephen King starts signing from an address that only a select few people know, maybe the TTM elites or whatever, the people who, know things. And what do you do? Do you send one request with a bunch of items, or do you send multiple requests? What do you do?
I'm a three photo person.
Right.
Pretty much every request I send 3 photos. I'm building a collection for my son Archer. So that's 1 photo. And if I give that photo, and that collection to him, I still want something. So basically, I'm building 2 collections, one for
Right.
him, one for me. Third one is up for trade and
Right.
resell.
It's trade bait.
Okay, so it's no secret. The third one is for us to do something with. So,
Right. Well, I'm saying like that address is going to close fast. So there is no double dipping on that unless you do double dipping from the beginning. That's my point.
I think I think it's a judgment call depending on the person. I mean,
Like-
I don't think I'd want to send like let's say you sent photos. I think I'd want to send something else if you're gonna do that. Send a like with Stephen King a book or something.
Like
change it
Mike,
up.
you could even use one. I'm coming up with terrible ideas that are unethical here. So, Mike, you could even use one of your old addresses that has a return, like a forward on it, and use that address as a secondary, and then we get forwarded to you automatically.
Or if you have a significant other, you can put their name.
Or significant other, or significant other's parents. There's a lot of different addresses you can do. We don't advocate for this, but this is stuff that people do, and we're going to talk about it because it is part of the collecting community.
But something you mentioned earlier, with Bill Belichick, how you think they don't read the letters. I'm guessing Stephen King, if he's getting all of a sudden flooded with fan mail, he's not reading those letters. So if you double dip back to back weeks, I'm guessing he's not checking it and saying,
right.
"Oh, Savage wrote me last week. I'm not going to sign this."
Right.
So I mean, it's an ethics question if you want to do that, but why not? Other people are doing it.
That's one thing. Other people are doing it. Right. So does that make it okay though? Like, because other people are double dipping and if you look on Star Tiger forums, people are triple dipping, quadruple dipping, and they're going way further than double dipping.
I mean,
so
all 3 of us are mainly TTM guys. We don't do a lot of in person, but you look at the autograph hounds that let's say chase down the WWE wrestlers when they're coming off the plane. Hey, I'm a fan. Sign these 10 items for me.
Right.
They're doing the same thing. They're not keeping 10 items in their collection.
Right.
They're chasing them down. To an extent, we do the same thing. TTM. Do we keep everything? No, because we trade. Some of us sell. Our TTMs because we want to add other things to our collection. And if we can get something that's valuable, where we can turn it around. If I get an extra Stephen King. Hey, Stacy, you want to trade one of those Jim Browns for a Stephen King?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll go to chat real fast. Andy Roos says, would you mention that that they charge a fee when sending a request with a fee, or do you act like you don't know there's a fee and you're just giving them a fee as a guess? That would kind of give the leeway to giving them less than the fee that they usually request. How do you guys feel on that topic?
Usually, in my case, the first time I write, I never send a fee. And then if I get it back and if it's somebody I want bad enough, I'll send the fee. I mean, I always try my luck first without sending the money in it. I mean, obviously it worked for me last week because I got stall back without one. And I don't know if James Brown or Jim Brown ever...
James Brown. Holy crap. You got James Brown?
I don't know if Jim Brown ever really charged a fee or if he never really signed much, but usually that's with me. I'll just send the request and I'll try my luck. And the worst case is they're going to send it back to me and tell me they want a fee.
I know, Mike, you do a lower amount than the fee requested, so you probably don't mention their fee in the letter, do you?
I don't, but a lot of these guys will change over time too. They may start off at like Whitey Ford for a long time charged like $35, $40. And he's gotten to the point where he's signed so much that, he's dropped his price, so the price list will fluctuate. So I do play dumb sometimes and say, I know you charge. I don't know what you charge. Will you accept this to sign my stuff? And, if he doesn't, then, I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if he doesn't, then I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to sign this. And if And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you'll get the price list back and say, this is what I charge.
Andy says the case against James Brown.
And just an autograph anonymous PSA tip: send $5 to the goon.
Yeah, you don't want to get gooned. We don't want that to happen. All right.
On that also, I've also sent money to people who don't charge to try and grease the wheels a little bit too, and say, if they open it up and look at it and say, oh, there's money in here, they might be more likely to sign.
Yeah. Or they take the money and just send it back unsigned.
Like, hey, thanks, Mike.
All right, thanks for the money, man. So numbers to send. We kind of covered this already. You guys said 3 is usually your max.
In my case, that's usually it. I don't when I see these people posting stuff in the Facebook pages and stuff where they're showing what they got, and they've got 8, 10, 12 items back from 8 to 10, 12 items they sent to a person. I don't know. That part of it kind of drives me batty because I think that's just kind of
shows
way overkill.
Yeah, it's I think you kind of look at it as you're killing an address way faster doing that, right? That's kind of how we look at it.
I mean,
somebody gets that in, they're like, come on. Really?
Granted, I can see the card collectors that have these massive card collections like Andy does, but he doesn't send 12 cards at one time. He sends 2 or 3 at a time, then waits 6, 7, 8 months and sends out again.
Okay, now I did send. Okay, I'll admit to this. I sent out 15 once, but I had a good excuse. Okay, I'm a fan of Noam Chomsky, and he has like a ton of books. He's like one of the most cited authors in college papers of all time. So I told him, "Can you sign all these book plates so I can put them in all my copies of your books?" Because he has so many books. And I think he signed half. I think he signed like 8, which is still crazy good. But I think, do you guys think if you have an excuse like that, like an actual reason, that it makes it better? Or do you think that they just see the number, like 15 freaking things? Are you kidding me, man? Like, is that the first thing that goes through their head? Or do they actually read the letter and be like, oh, okay, this makes sense of why? Like, this kind of goes back to, do they actually read the letter and realize what's going on? Or they just want to get it done?
I think a lot of the older guys, retired players and people that aren't busy making movies, I think you can get away with that if you have a legitimate excuse and put it, in your letter. Don't just send them 15 things and say, sign 15. I'm a set collector for cards. You have 8, 10 cards throughout these 2 sets. Would you mind signing them? That's not a problem, I don't think.
Greasing the wheels there might help too. If you have that many things, throwing $5 in there might make that a lot easier to have.
There's always exceptions to the rule. I mean, if you have contact with the person beforehand, like back when we were doing the show back in the day with Steve Wiebe, I mean, I sent him a ton of his Allen and Ginter cards, but I had permission before I did it. He gave me the okay to send them all. So.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to a new topic. Not new topic, but new subtopic to TTM etiquette, and that's research you do on a person before you send. I've been blasted for this actually in the past. Back when I started up, when I was a poor college kid, I would write to people that didn't exactly know who they were, and that's kind of a no-no. And I really didn't care at the time because I was poor and I was just wanting something to do as a hobby that was decently cheap if you skirt the edges. So I was writing to people I didn't know, and I was getting returns, and I couldn't pronounce names. I couldn't say what they did, and I regret doing that. But at the time, I didn't know any better. Do you guys think it's important to know who you're writing to, or do you think? Because I know Stacy, for instance, how many people have you written to this year?
I just went over 2,000.
You've written to over 2,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you know at least what they do and who they are?
Yeah, I mean, everybody I've sent to this year, at least I know something about them. I know at least one movie or something they've been into, a TV show. If they do something on the internet. I think that's the biggest thing. It's just making sure. I mean, I don't ever go into a whole lot of depth unless it's a rare occasion. But basically, taking the time to at least acknowledge something that they did, one or two or three movies or television shows they've worked on that you're a fan of. If they're on the internet, they do a show on the internet. They're a podcaster or something. Mention that stuff in the letter. If you're writing to athletes,
See, now
former
that
athletes,
you're getting
mention
risky.
they played for.
You're getting risky there because if you just go off their IMDb, you could pick something that's popular, like The Walking Dead or something, and they might have been in that for 5 seconds. So if you say in your letter, "I loved your work in The Walking Dead," they might be like, "I was like literally on screen for 5 seconds." Like, do you ever run into
I mean,
that?
that's true, but I mean, I'm fairly knowledgeable in movies and TV. It's kind of my other passion,
Gig.
my other habit. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty knowledgeable when I send. I'm pretty not know how much they've been in something. If it's been like a TV show, for example, if they've only been in one episode, I usually won't even mention that. I'll at least try to find something that I know they've been in multiple episodes or.
Mike, how about you?
There's a reason I don't do like live openings on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, when I find somebody, the way I go about it, I look on Star Tiger. You know, I click on all the return for that day, and I pick the people that I know something about. But when they come back, some of them I got to look back and say, who is this? Because I recognize the face, but I might not know the name. So there's a reason that I don't do that, and
you get so much crap from the community because of that.
right, because I don't want to open up something and be like, oh, cool, I have no idea who this is. I mean, I know who it is, but I don't know the name. So
right,
you know, I do the research. Everyone that I send to, you know, I've either watched or know something about, or I've researched, you know, something. You know, that's how I do my send outs on Star Tiger. The little blurb up top that says, you know, what they're famous for. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know,
right.
so I know something about them. I just might not know their name when they first come back.
And I want to refer everybody to Troy Rudder's videos. When he gets TTMs now, he stole my idea, which I'm totally cool with. I wish more people would do it. But when he makes his TTM videos, he explains who the person is, some of their accolades, and like usually a fun little fact about them. And I love that. And for that reason, I watch his videos every time he puts one out. So,
And I
go
will
ahead,
say
Steve.
too that I mean, just because we don't think the majority of people might not read the letters, but there's definitely some celebrities and some fairly known celebrities that do read and pay attention to what they're getting. I'll give you an example. It's Kelly Lynch. Me and Jeremy both wrote to her about the same time. We got both of them back like within one day of each other. I got back of where my letter was. I mentioned a bunch of stuff she was in and talked a little bit about something. And I got I mean, she wrote me back a handwritten letter thanking me for being a fan of so and so and whatever it was. Jeremy just saying and wrote the letter too. He's got a form letter too, but a lot of times he doesn't mention what they've been in. He just mentions they're a fan and he respects their work. And he got kind of a snarky response back from her because she just thought he was just getting the autograph to get the autograph for no reason.
Yeah.
That he wasn't really a fan because he didn't know what actually her work was. Which, in his case, he knew what she was in. It's just in his letters he just usually doesn't put that stuff.
Yeah,
in
it takes time to put that stuff in the form letter. So, yeah, totally. All right. Well, I guess on the last, this is a little sub. I guess another sub. What do you call it? This is another part of the TTM etiquette that we're going to cover real fast because I think we covered some of this last episode. It's address etiquette. So this doesn't actually talk about etiquette towards the celebrity, but rather etiquette toward your fellow TTMers. So on address etiquette, there's so much here. Actually, do you want to cover this in a whole nother TTM top, like another whole nother topic one day? Because there's so much to go in to detail.
All I
with
gotta
that.
say, if we're gonna do it on a sub, you know, a different show, 2 words, please, and sorry, 3, thank you.
Yeah,
Manners.
please and thank you, my
Please and thank you. That's it. Covered.
Well, you know what? We're going to cover that on another show because I feel like that could be a whole nother topic in and of itself because we have so many stories to pass around because we've done this for years and dealt with a lot of different people, a lot of good, great experiences, a lot of real crappy experiences. We'll just leave it at that. Let's go ahead and move on to giveaways, which I know you guys are excited to hear about. That's why half of you guys are here. They want some free stuff. And we're going to finish up last episode's giveaway and announce the winner. I gave away 2 autograph cards and a fabric fob of Magic Johnson. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head who the people on the autograph cards were, but the winner, Coolio, was one, and the other one was another person.
Cosby Show.
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yep.
Yeah, from the Cosby Show. You're right. Man, you got a better memory than me, man.
Hey, that proves I did watch the show. I wasn't here, but I did watch it.
We did a random number picker before the show, and everybody was in here when I did it. So we can all collaborate, correspond. This was the winner. It is Dennis St. Laurent. Congratulations. I'll be messaging you on Facebook for an address, and I'll get your stuff sent out ASAP. And today, this episode, we have another giveaway because we're going to try to do giveaways every show. We're going to try it. And Mike, you want to talk about this giveaway? Let's show off what the prize is, at least.
Sure. This week we're going to be giving away a Autographers Anonymous t-shirt. I'll back this up in just one second. It's an extra large. It's not the official logo, but it's kind of a fan shirt.
Awesome. So that's what's up for grabs, guys. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. If you want to tell them how to enter.
Yeah. So the t-shirt, guys, is up for grabs. And if you want to win the t-shirt, all you have to do is head on down to iTunes. We did this with our last show, and it's very successful. Go to iTunes, and all we ask is for you to leave a review. We're not asking for 5 stars, whatever you think we're worth. But please leave a review on iTunes. And every review from now, today, till our next episode will be entered to win the t-shirt. So again, you just go to iTunes, go to the iTunes store, type in our Autographers Anonymous podcast. It should pop up, and give us a rating, and make sure your name is there so I know. Well, I'll call your username out on the podcast, and I'll get a hold of you that way. So
hey, maybe even the Godfather will sign it for you.
Hey, yeah, there you go. If you want it signed, Mike can sign it for you. That'd be pretty cool, actually. So go do that. That is the giveaway for this episode. Now we're going to move on to a segment that we had back on our old show that was very popular. We used to do a video version of it, but we're going to throw it in the podcast for now. And it's called Just the Tip. That's the name of it's a little autograph tip that we give you. We're going to try to rotate between the case against and just the tip for now. That's the plan for the show. And for this just the tip, the topic is international TTMs. And we're going to throw it over to Mike.
All right, guys. Back when I started doing TTMs heavy years and years ago, I was terrified of international TTM requests because back then you had to have an IRC, an international return coupon, and it was a nightmare to get them at the post office if your post office even had them. I've done away with that. The post office has kind of moved away from that because they're not popular. So I'm going to show you guys these. These are Forever International stamps. You can get them at the post office.
I got some too.
Yeah, you can.
I had no idea those existed. Yeah. I've been out of the game for so long.
They're magical. You can send anywhere from the United States, anywhere in the world with these beauties. It costs, I think, $1.25 or something for one. So when I send out a TTM, I put one of these on going somewhere. How I get it back, there's a couple different ways to do it. You can either buy postage online for, let's say, the UK, wherever you're sending heavy. You can buy off eBay different stamps, but this is what I use. Good old fashioned American cash. So I send outgoing one forever international stamp. I do my SASE just like you normally do, but do not stamp it. Like this one is going to the UK. No, or I'd put my, there we go. I would put my international on there, and on the inside, I would put my SASE without a stamp and just enclose $3. That's usually what I send because it's usually a couple dollars for international postage because you can't use the international from wherever you're sending back to the United States. But
Right.
most people will take American cash and exchange it for postage. Here is an example, and I want to show this stamp. This is coming from Canada, but watch this.
That
Oh,
stamp
wow.
is awesome.
It's like the old sports flicks. This was actually Philip Pritchard, the guy that does the Stanley Cup. I got to try and get my postman markered all over it, but that's how I got this one back. So I did not put that stamp on. He did, but I included $3. And if you could see right about where my finger is, $3 Canadian, which is roughly $3
Now, is the whole
American.
stamp the Sports Flicks texture?
Yeah, it's
You know, rubbing alcohol might take
yeah,
that
that's what I'm
off,
gonna try. I'm gonna try the
or
dry
some
erase marker
dry
first
erase marker. Yeah,
and see if I can get that off. That's the coolest stamp I've ever seen.
Yeah, maybe he just gave you that cool stamp for the $3 you sent him. Because usually Canada, I think you can get away with $2, but I've gotten a lot back before at $2. But
yeah, but I think sending 3 kind of is the extra dollar for their time and effort to get a stamp. That or the extra dollar is like here, you know, if it's only $2 or if it's $1.50, you know, this is for your time just to put a stamp on there.
Yeah, but for you guys that don't know, the original trilogy for Star Wars was filmed in England, so there's a lot of the original actors are overseas. Hockey is big in Canada, so obviously a lot of guys live up there. So there's a lot of opportunities for some great autographs if you want to send international, which is not as scary as it sounds. It's just get some international forever stamps, quick and easy.
and those work just like the regular forever stamps. They're good for up to 1 ounce.
Yep. I send my 3 photos, my letter, and my SASE with just one of those, and then $3 coming back. And it's worked with most everything that I sent out. There are some instances where stuff hasn't come back, but that's any
You get that with all TTMs, yeah.
Right. So international TTMs are not as scary as they used to be. You don't have to fill out customs forms. It's just stick a stamp on it. It's just like a letter, send it out, send some money, get an autograph back.
Now let's get into some more detail here. Now, if you want to send 8x10s, could you still use those stamps and put like 3 on them, like
Yes.
a regular stamp?
Yeah, you would just have to figure out what the weight is. Yeah,
They're
Okay.
just like regular forever stamps. They're just international. You can send anywhere in the world with them.
Gotcha. So then you would just obviously send more money if it was an 8x10 because the person would have to pay more.
Right.
Yep.
Also, but okay, well that's pretty damn simple. All right.
yeah. Those forever
Stacey,
stamps.
you got
are a
anything on
blessing.
that?
Not really. I think he covered pretty much all of it. I haven't done a whole lot. I think really all I've done so far since I've come back, there's just recently is stuff to Canada.
Right.
I haven't done Britain or anywhere else yet, but I'm
Now,
sure
do you think
will.
do you think sending to productions would be less likely to get that? They take the money and put a stamp on it because it's like a production and not a person that's at home.
I think it'd actually be more likely because
They just hand it off and they take care of it.
Yeah, they got people to do it for them.
yeah,
You think? Like an assistant or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll have to test that theory, won't we?
That's where all those ones in Canada that I sent were all to
to
some
production.
production
So
places.
okay,
So we'll see if
well, we'll
how
see.
it
It was a
works.
good test. All righty. Well, boys and girls, I think that's about it. That's all we got today. I'm going to go ahead and give this little part of the show up to you guys to promote your channels or anything you want to promote. Go ahead.
How about we put this out over on our Facebook page? Being next week, in 2 weeks, we'll be doing the case against. If you guys got some ideas on who you guys want us to vote on amongst us and who we do next in 2 weeks, post that on our Facebook page.
Yeah, and the case, let me just reiterate, the case against is somebody that you suspect might be secretarial, and you want us to dig up evidence for and against, and we bring all the evidence to the table and come to a moderately conclusive conclusion. That's an oxymoron. To a moderate conclusion, and then you guys can take that as you will, and weigh the evidence that's total on all sides. But yeah, that'd be great. So if you have a suggestion, please go to our Facebook page and post on the community wall, or you can even just post under one of our posts, like our episode post. You can post, hey, I think you guys should do this, because we'll see it all. If it's posted on that page, we'll see it. So,
Then
Mike,
one other thing.
Stacey.
One other thing I'm going to show off real quick. I did pick this up today. I know Mike was having some fun with this signature in this book. I saw he tweeted at this guy the other day.
Oh,
But
wait. Is it do?
Yep. I did pick this up. So if there's anybody out there, my Walmart, this is the only one they had. But if you want a cheap John Cena signature, I mean, it's a pretty crappy signature, but Walmart does have must be an exclusive to Walmart, I'm guessing. But
yeah, there's a publisher that does those. There's a couple publishers that do them now, and you can find signed books in Walmart, Target, Barnes and Noble. There's a lot of places you can find them publisher signed now.
But I did pick up the John Cena elbow grease, and you want to see this fun signature in here. I don't think mine's as horrible as some, but it's still pretty bad. But there it is.
Mr. Schaefer, if you need a mat done, you know who to call.
I know. I might think about that.
So what I did is I took a picture of somebody's photo or autograph that they posted, and a garbage one like that, and I found a certified autograph from Cena years ago that you could clearly read John, and he still does the Cena kind of like that. But I tweeted to him and I was like, how did we get from A to point B? I'm like, this is garbage, John. I'm like, take some pride in your autograph. And no reply.
I mean, his signature's never been that good, but that's just crazy.
Yeah,
but you gotta admit
a ton,
dude. Yeah. So the thing is, this is my alley right here. Signed books. So what happens is they sign en masse these pages, and you think, they're signing their autograph. Why can't they sign nice? Dude, they're signing like 20,000 pages. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's like stacks. Like a page is this tall.
No, I was giving John a hard time. If you guys Google, John Cena, and he signed his promos, I think before WrestleMania, he signed like 50,000, and the guy does amazing work with Make-A-Wish, and the guy is outstanding. I was given a hard time, but the guy's a machine. I understand the process, but oh man, those autographs are rough.
Trump actually signed 10,000 Premier Collectibles book plates, and when they told him how many he had to sign, they had a little I bought some of those books, and this isn't political. This is just like pure talking about the signatures. They had a little signing where he was signing the books. You could watch him sign the books. And then when they told him, yeah, you got 10,000 of these to sign, he's like, I have how many to sign? Like, who signed me up for this? Like, it's a lot of books. But apparently he signed them all.
Maybe he could dial 1-900-STORMY and she would sign them for him.
Hey, we're not getting political here. We're not getting political. Anyways, Mike, you got anything to promote? Or
if you guys want to follow me on social networks, YouTube is I still produce videos every once in a while. The Autograph Network on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter. What am I missing? Instagram. either Google the Autograph Network or the Autograph Project, and usually my face will pop up on one of them.
And my eBay store is the Savage Library, and I also sell fabric fobs on Etsy. That's all you need to know. Thanks for listening and watching, guys. If you want to watch us live, we're live at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time every other Tuesday. Today is the 23rd, so our next show is 2 weeks from now. So just go over our Facebook page, and we'll post the live link there before the show, or you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Just look up Autographers Anonymous. That's it. We're out, and adios.